So welcome, Simarjit, to our
Yes.
payroll transformation series. And
Okay.
as you have discussed, you'll be learning more towards the payroll specific for Australia payroll, right?
Yes.
So before we start, so there are some ground rules or certain discipline which actually I generally follow in my whenever I teach or mentor, coach, all this kind of sessions. Okay, it is very highly disciplined and also the step-by-step process which I will be recommending. If you follow that, definitely you'll be getting good results in a stipulated period of time. Okay, so
Okay.
that is the actually the thing. Okay, so now coming to our payroll transformation series. But why I say payroll transformation? Any idea?
No, I'm sorry.
No problem, no problem. So I will be just telling you. So whenever I start any kind of a session, generally I take a note from the students also, right? Just although you have discussed, but still we will be having a small thing like what kind of you can just share in 5 minutes your little bit of experience, so that again I will note it. Although I have listened on that day, but I forgot to make a note of it. Okay, so that it will be very
Okay.
helpful for me. Your just brief profile actually to understand, and we will be just your academic background and your experience background and all this little bit. Okay, it will be
All
helpful
right.
for me. Yeah.
Okay. So
You can start.
I've done my BBA in University of Oklahoma in 2004. So
Okay.
after 2004, I've been working. I started as an intern, and I did an internship for 1 year, and then I came into this IT field. And then I've been working as a business analyst since then. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Business
mainly I've
analyst. It was
worked,
in Salesforce, if I remember correctly, to Salesforce, right?
not just Salesforce. I've done Salesforce, and then I've done other technologies like small CRMs, internal applications, and then I've also done. It's Obama related. I'm not sure you know EDI part of it, healthcare EDI. So mainly in
Yes,
there
yes.
I've done.
Electronic data interchange. Those
That's
areas. Is
where
that what you? Okay.
that's where my majority of focus was. But when I came to Australia, I worked on Salesforce mainly.
Okay, okay, okay. Got it, got it. And
Yeah.
how about your HR background, like any HR experience, HR
None,
technology or core
none,
HR?
none.
Okay. So core
Whatever
HR, you
I've
do not.
understood, I've gone through the YouTube videos, just a quick, overview to have an
Okay.
understanding. Yeah.
Core HR and HR tech means no working experience, but your knowledge, right? Okay. And after BBA,
Yeah.
have you upgraded? After BBA, have you done MBA in HR somewhere like something like that, or certification in certifications?
I started with a couple of years back. I did a training in SuccessFactors for EC, but now I forgot it.
Okay, okay. EC certification, means not certification, but EC training you have gone through.
Yeah, I wanted
Right?
to do the certification, but after that I didn't find time. But now I want to
Okay.
get back into SAP. So it was just a quick training I've taken, but don't recall
Sure,
anything
sure.
at the moment.
Got it,
Yeah.
got it. Now, two things I will be asking for you. One is STZ, one is LTZ. STZ means what is your next 90 days, which is the short-term goal actually. What will be we would like
My
to achieve?
short-term goal is to get versed in two things. One is the payroll process that I spoke to you about. I need to know
Payroll
in and out,
process.
like especially from SAP HR point of view, the system point, more than the success factors. And then anything in payroll related, even the schemas, because that's where I've heard that they ask a lot of questions. And then, yeah, so.
Yes, yes, schemas, PCR, and all these things you needed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Okay. And
then
you have
another
never
thing
worked
was,
on you? Yeah, yes, yes. Go ahead.
another thing was if I can have a quick understanding of the OMPA module.
OMPA. Okay, sure. SAP has same OMPA basically. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
That is your short-term goal. And now currently you are also working, right? Means current.
I'm still working as a Salesforce business analyst.
So along with your job only, you are searching for this new opportunities. Okay.
Yeah.
Currently working in It is
Yeah.
also SF only, but actually we call it SFDC, right? In Salesforce. SFDC.
Yes,
Yeah?
FDC. Yeah.
Salesforce. In a SuccessFactors, we call it SFSF. So that's
What
the
is it in
only
success factors?
SFSF, the trade name actually, SFSF,
I
Success
see.
Factors only. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, but actually, that is your short-term goal. Like now I understood. Now, any region, like actually, just means why you want to go through, so that at least it will help me to understand your aspirations as
There
well.
are a lot of government positions near my house, like in Parramatta especially. They
Hmm.
have different departments like Department of Education and Justice.
Hmm.
So new opportunities come by, and basically to increase my knowledge in SAP, because they get a
Hmm.
better pay over here. That is one thing.
Okay. Mhm.
I'm still debating, like if you can explain me difference between business analyst and there is a functional
Hmm.
consultant who does the configuration, right? They
Hmm.
might be having
Hmm.
different roles,
Hmm.
going
Hmm. Hmm.
behind the
Hmm.
tables or going behind the screens,
Hmm.
making the
Hmm.
changes to the wages or whatever it is, the functionality.
Hmm. 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 Yes, yes, yes. Got it, got it. Now aspiration I understood. And current location is Sydney, right? If I'm correct.
Current
Yes,
location is Sydney. Yeah.
Sydney, right? Okay, okay. Sydney is the thing. And long-term goal, like let's say 5 years down the line. I may be asking like an interviewer, but still it is
Yeah, no,
important
no,
for
that's
me.
good. You can correct me if I'm not making sense. So, um,
Mhm.
long-term goal is having a base understanding of the SAP HR
Mhm.
first, but in the
Mhm.
long-term goal is to get into success factors, the modules like EC, ECP, and
Mhm.
then onboarding,
Mhm.
recruitment, and so on. Yeah.
Got it. So why I have asked you actually, I always ask people students to dream big, dream high, whatever, and also maintain that goals. Even I personal at a personal level also I do write my goals every day, right? So that is
Yeah,
actually to help you stay focused, whatever you do it, right? Otherwise, training, learning, this thing will happen, but over a period of time, you will lose the momentum, right? So
that's
that's
true. I
why
mean,
actually.
having dreams is different than maintaining it. Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes. So now I understood overall. So now,
yeah.
before we go there to the our things and all, I will just I think you must be aware of more than better than me the job market. Okay, because whatever we are preparing, we also say that I always because it is one of your aspirations. So for that reason, actually, on short-term goals, as you are to move into job specific SAP HR and also before that you have to understand what kind of jobs available. Right? So I will just simple Google search in the LinkedIn and what are the job portal if you see here. Okay. So this is, I
Yeah.
think, there. So what you to do generally whenever you are searching for any job. So I will be putting filtering on Sydney only. Let's see. Sydney, New South Wales, it will be fine, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
it
that's
will be different.
fine. Yeah.
So if you see here, so SAP payroll consultant, so any job. So okay, even if you apply or do not apply, so you have to monitor all these things. So this is something I hope you must be having a good LinkedIn profile. So you can send me a request, okay, and I will review also your LinkedIn profile. Okay, I will help you in that improving that later on. Okay.
Hmm. Okay.
So yeah, whenever you are saying for payroll, if you're searching for a job in payroll, as you have mentioned, right? This is in public sector. Okay, so you should have a public sector means exposure, something like that. They ask for
Hmm.
5+ years, but again, it is subjective. If you're having a knowledge, definitely you can crack this kind of interviews. So generally they hire for whenever this kind of requirement, at least you can grab. So why this is
Hmm.
required? So you have to mention this in your CV. So this is
Hmm.
the keyword. Whenever somebody will is searching, a job is posted, whatever may be the job portal, whether it's Indeed or any other LinkedIn or any other sick.com in whatever the leading job board in Australia, so people will be searching for this kind of thing. And if it is there in your CV, definitely you're getting shortlisted is the first priority.
Yeah,
Second
yeah, the
priority is the interview.
keywords. Yeah.
Keywords actually, so generally I cover it in the mostly in the career session, but as we are focusing on this part, so I will recommend just to grab this kind of thing and make a notepad, go to the notepad. Okay. So what I
Hmm.
will do, so I will be preparing let's say, I will be having a notepad for you. And in that, let's say, I will grab all those job profiles specific to your, as you're focusing on especially Australia payroll or SAP payroll related jobs, generally we have to go for this kind of a where exactly we are having we have to understand each and every word of this. Okay. So as you have already said, right, you will be aspiring for an understanding of PAOA.
Yeah.
So definitely it will be, means you'll be getting a session where exactly I'll be sharing some pre-recorded sessions, plus there will be a live hands-on where you will be doing the hands-on and I will be monitoring that. Okay, so that kind of sessions we'll be having. Okay. Similarly, as you have said, long term, right? So you should have they're not expecting. Whenever I'm saying understanding, that means
Yeah.
they do not expect that you have to be a master, but at least you should have understanding how the SuccessFactors solution works and how it is integrated with your SAP payroll system. It will be desired. So that is the kind of a thing which is perfectly matching what exactly you are aspiring and all, right? Similarly, you should have an integration experience. So wherever they are saying experience, that means you should be having a hands-on exposure, or have you worked in any kind of a business scenario. They are expecting this kind of thing, mostly from a configuration point of view, or any kind of a any payroll specific thing. You should be having strong experience. Okay, there are three things actually. So whenever we learn something, right, there are three E's actually. One is actually why believe is education, which is through a training or any kind of a blog you have seen, any YouTube you have video you have watched, and there are certain things which will be coming from your experience. Okay, so experience plus exposure, these three things will be very important for any kind of jobs and all, right? Education, definitely it will be like learning something your own or somebody taught you. Okay, experience will come if you have really worked, or somebody, if let's say you might be having a question, I do not have a 5 years Australian payroll experience, but from where I will bring it. So maybe you can connect someone like me and you can leverage my experience. So you can talk to me, and there are some experience and learning session will happen where I will be explaining my experience. Okay. So in that way, you can collective experience. You can talk to me, and similarly, some other people who has worked in a similar kind of a profile. You can go to LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn also. LinkedIn is a very good tool. Okay, for you can grab people. So you don't have to like make some meaningful connection with people who have really worked in SAP Australia payroll. You will definitely find it out. Generally, this is the way I generally follow and in the initial phase of my career. Same thing. So you don't have to search for the jobs, rather you search for the people. So there will be so many filters. Okay. By default, it will be showing your job. Okay. But you have to search for people who are having this kind of a skill set. Okay. So you can see these are the people who are having who are coming at the top. Okay. So I can see these are the people who are having time, payroll, EC. Okay, so you can see, go to their profile and what they have worked actually. So there are two areas you have to grab. Okay, so whenever you're going for any kind of this person's profile, you can see what are the things they're writing in their summary, career summary. He is having 14 years of experience. Okay, and some of the person may not have given a detailed explanation what they have done in those respective organizations, but you can see one line, two line also they have mentioned payroll implementation they have done. They have done some BPR activity, business process engineering activity. So this terminology should be familiar. Okay, so that is the intention to explain this non-technical stuff, but this is actually helpful. Okay, so you can see this person has mentioned a lot of things. Okay, so she has actually maintained configuration experience on this. Okay, handling BAU support. You should be knowing what is a BAU.
Yeah,
any
business
idea?
as usual. Yeah.
That is, as a business analyst, you must be knowing this. I don't have to. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are the things actually you have to key things actually you have to focus, and wherever there is an explanation they have written. So these things actually you should grab, and in this way you will be able to. So this is one part from a job point of view you have to think, and from a people point of view or from a experience point of view, I will recommend. Okay. So if you do not have an experience, generally you have to create experience. Okay. I do not say use the word fake experience. Rather, I will use this somebody's experience. You have to actually utilize, and that you can make yourself such a skill so that you demand with the market in the higher size. So that is the thing actually I just thought of sharing some of the tips actually giving to you. And saying things you have to do this activity. This is an activity for you. Okay, maybe you can share with me whatever the things, and more or less 50-60% similarities will be there. Okay, like you can see end-to-end technical and data design. Okay, understanding and translating future requirements into designing. This is a purely BA activity. Okay, so you can see understanding and translating is a BA activity. And in SAP, we do not segregate that someone is a BA, someone is a functional consultant, nothing like that, unless it is a very big project. If it's a big project, then we have a segregation of our roles. But generally, the functional consultant, he or she is an all-rounder. He's expected to do everything. Okay, starting from BA to your functional consultant to testing, documenting, training, okay, everything. So these are the things managing team.
Yeah, I was going to say I had applied for a role. If you would search for Woolworths Group, if there should be one Woolworths Group, I applied business analyst actually.
Okay.
It should show up here. And I'm thinking that the interview might be sometime next week, end of next week, because I applied in December and I wasn't sure they would respond back, but they did. Yeah.
Is that okay?
But I'll get that requirement and I'll send it to you.
Sure. You can share with me and I can help you in that, tracking that. And also I see very limited people are applying. If you see only 2 applicants, 3 applicants, very rare. Not like in India, at least 100 people must have applied to that job.
I know.
I see there is very difficult here actually to crack and all. But I see there are some. I can see there are 0 applicants. People are not applying at all. Although it is a contract.
It's not actually correct. It's not actually correct. They're from LinkedIn, right? But we have another Seek.com. That's where people usually apply more. So these requirements are there in Seek as well.
You are saying Seek.com?
Seek.com, yeah, right there. So if you
I can see.
type in payroll process and all, Woolworths will come up over here. Maybe type Woolworths Group. It should come up, but eventually I'll send it to you, the requirement. Yeah.
No problem. I will say that. One of my students also, she cracked in the past in Australia only, from India only she was from. And she cracked one of the payroll data officer job. Okay. Although it is a little simpler compared to the functional consultant, it will be from a client side, but still there are challenges. Like every job has its own challenges. Lot of data related activities she has to perform. So you should be having those reporting capability, analyzing master data with all those things, troubleshooting, all this at least you should know. It's very at a high level they have given, but it is so what are the things actually you will be having? So those details actually they have given. So there are some of the jobs also require a Coupa experience. Coupa means it's a finance related product. Okay, but definitely we will be having exposure to all these things. Okay, so now coming to our planning, actually how I actually plan my sessions. So coming to the hackathon, so I give timeline actually. So as you're currently working, okay, so like you can take your time. So although I mentioned it's 30 days, okay, so if you can do it, even if you spend 2 hours per day or 1.5 hours like that also, it is fine. Okay, so you should be able to complete within 30 to 45 days maximum. Okay, so the idea is to make it simplified instead of too much focusing on other things. Okay, so it is a kind of today is kind of a day 1. Okay, so it's the orientation and I will be explaining that. So you have to pick a product. So in your case, if the product is SAP HCM, okay, not SuccessFactors now as of now. Okay, although that is our aspiration. Okay, pick a model that will be in your case. It is your SAP HCM payroll, Australia payroll. That is a purely your thing. The industry, as you have mentioned, mostly you're targeting government sector, public sector, like that. Okay, what I understand is more of that is your aspiration. Okay, so with that note, I will just make a note of it. Okay, for a day 1. Okay, so I will make a note of it here. That for you, you're the pick a product, pick a module, and pick an industry. Pick a product. It is an SAP, purely SAP. I will say HCM. With SAP is the future, but you should be having at least the basic. Already you are a little bit exposure of EC, so I don't have too much. Pick a module. Pick a module.
I did just to let you know, I did work for 6 months for Department of Education. Yeah, on SAP, but it wasn't a very big exposure. I was really new, and people are not very helpful because if you tell them you're a refresher, like fresher, they look down on you. You can't ask them questions. So it's just what you were given. I was only able to do that, but having very limited understanding. It was
Okay,
like an
okay. So you work at
enhancement business
which module you
analyst.
have worked? So basically,
It
which
was
module you have worked
it
there
was
in
in
SAP?
enhancement. Yeah, it
Enhancement.
was
SAP.
any enhancements related to OMPA
Mhm. Okay, okay, that is
and
good.
a bit of payroll, but like I said, I don't understand much, so it was very hard
Mhm.
initially. So that's why I came back to
Okay.
Salesforce. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. No,
yeah,
recipe is not so hard if you have got a proper mentoring, right? So that is
yeah.
there. Even I struggled in 2012 when I started my career as an ABAPer, coming from a BTech and MBA background. So I did and started as an ABAPer where I was used to
Okay.
do the coding and all. But actually, latter point of time, my interest was more towards uh, HR because I did also coding like my MBA in HR as well. Okay, even one of
I
my mentor also at
see.
that point of time suggested because even if the companies actually there is even if whatever the thing happens, HR will be always evergreen. So he inspired
Yeah,
me actually, and
it
since
will be.
then, yeah, yeah. So since then, actually, I always see that people will not get stopped. People's salary will not get never stop, right? That is an ever-going process. Okay, whatever the organization, right?
Okay.
Definitely, there will be a demand of
Yeah.
today or SAP or Oracle, whatever the product ERP. There is always a demand, okay, of a payroll consultants. It's an evergreen, and even I have seen people retire. Even the first generation of SAP consultant, I have seen few people who have written a blog. They work only on payroll and they retired. Still, they are thinking. Still, a lot of things are there to learn. So much of
I
in-depth
see.
knowledge is required. Mhm. It
Yeah.
is not so easy, and but at the same time, you need a continuous because it's also the compliance and all these things, regulation. Every year, something new comes, right? And accordingly, those ERP products
Yeah.
keep innovating accordingly. Otherwise, they will not sustain in the market, right? Somebody else
Right,
will take
right.
the market. So,
Somebody else will
that's
come
why.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You always have to
Okay, so
have a
that's
learning cap.
yes, yes, yes. Very peak learning curve is required. And pick an industry,
Yeah.
as I understood, your aspiration actually, so as it is, even many of my students actually work mostly on the government. Compared to India, actually, I see most of the Australian government, mostly they're on the SAP or EC payroll, and they are actually moving towards direction. Even one of my managers in my previous organization, she shifted to Australia. She got a very good opportunity, one of the government action. So very nice opportunities
Oh,
there,
that's
I understand,
nice.
public government.
Niladri, one more thing. Would you be like if I just a question, if by luck I get a job, will you be providing support if I'm stuck anywhere, like if I don't understand the requirement, what they're asking,
Yes,
just to give
yes.
like a lifting hand and then take it from there?
Yes, yes, the same thing actually I'm doing for a student in Canada. Okay, she got a job, very good job, although it is a gig opportunity, it's contractual job, but people say more in contractual jobs in the US and Canada, what I understood from them. So they prefer doing a contractual job and that gets renewed. And in that job, actually, she's very good. Her communication skill is very good, and she got the job at the same time. But she's a very limited knowledge on the SAP HCM side, right? Although she
Yeah.
worked on a little bit of SAP SuccessFactors, little bit. Okay, but her background is more into HR. She comes from HR background, around 20 years of experience, right? But she's now I'm helping her on a day-to-day basis because it's the first job in SAP HCM. And same thing I did
Yeah.
it for one of those students in Australia as well. Okay, so she got a job into payroll as a payroll officer actually. Okay, so same thing actually, that is the goal is whoever is coming to this community, the Success Labs Academy, once it's all people are my lifelong learner. So I never leave anyone like, no, today 30 days you're done, not done. After that, no call, not like that. So this is a kind of a lifelong learning. Even I do believe in that, right? So even if I learn from my students actually because they bring in so many
Yeah.
challenges,
Every time
questions,
you
and
get to
in
learn.
that way I also learn from them. Okay, so I'm more than happy always
Right, right.
whenever. Yeah, yeah, that is actually that is always actually my aspiration to for the creating these communities and creating this forum, okay, this ecosystem rather, right? So always you will be having opportunity and you will be getting access to the entire platform, as I say, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this Success Labs Academy, it is like a 1+10 offer like in the market. Even if you are today learning
Mm-hmm.
SAP, let's say Australia payroll, okay, so you will be getting exposed whatever the things you are aspiration. Let's say you want to move to tomorrow Australia payroll. After that, you want to learn, like as you have mentioned, like SuccessFactors, Employee Central, Payroll, or any other module, it will be always there. And these modules are not like your Udemy, Coursera, right? It is how it is different is actually you will be, let's say today, as you will be starting from OMPA, right? I would recommend to go for a course. There is a course which is again a continuous learning. So there is a, I will just show you that. Let me go there. Core HR technology. Okay. So this is actually for SAP SuccessFactors 1, but I will just show you the people who generally who start mostly for MBA HR or any people. I always recommend either go for SuccessFactors platform fundamental, or you, if you want a little bit learning from SAP HCM as well, because it is not dead data. So mostly people think that SAP HCM will not be in demand. Okay, but I see many of the organizations still they use, and SAP extended it till 2040. Okay, if you have heard about it, till previously it was till 2026. Okay, but now as for HANA, with the S4 HANA version, they are going ahead with the SAP HANA, means SAP HCM will continue till 2040, but SuccessFactors will be the SAP's more investment focus. Okay,
Okay,
so what
so
I do
till
generally,
2040, they can still have this SAP
will be
HCM
there.
on premises, isn't Okay.
Yes, yes. SAP HCM on-premise will be there with an S4 HANA environment. The environment will change. Okay. But previously it was R3 environment. Now it will be S4 HANA environment. So you will be getting this access directly from here. And basically it is covering your OMPA time, core payroll. Okay. Your navigation means all the details about it. Your specific to wherever it comes to implementation, the position management, your OM module, everything is covered. Okay, there are
I
some
see.
EA module related workload discussion. All these are actually recorded session, but it doesn't mean you don't have to ask me questions. So whenever I go for this session, okay, I will be giving you time. Okay, so as I said, 30-day sessions, right? So what will happen after day one? Okay, once it is done, so there will be some activity here. So what you actually, if I'm giving some assignment, it is fine. Otherwise, we will go ahead. And then as I say that will be why I have asked for industry, because I will be giving you a case study based on that industry. It is purely a case study driven, and that case studies you have to solve. Okay, there will be not only technical stuff, but also there will be 60-70% questions will be there. You have to analyze yourself, and you have to like think actually. So I always encourage thinking. Okay, so whatever problem statement I will be giving, you have to think from a purely a payroll point of view, or then a process point of view. Then how? Then coming to the system, not system first. First of all, strategy, process, everything you have to think. Then you have to come to the system point of. So for that reason, I'm focusing more on the system, your basically process strategy side of it. Okay. So the day one, as we complete today, as you are planning for public sector, within 2 to 3 days, you will be getting an case studies once you register for that. Okay. Then what I will do in the day two, what will happen in the next, whenever you'll be connecting the next time. So this actually this is a generally recorded session, but I will do it live for you because you do not have any background on this, right? So you have to understand the product or the module. Okay. So you have to understand what product can offer, what product cannot offer. That is also you have to understand. Suppose I'm saying SAP Australia payroll. What are the things SAP Australia payroll cover? You have to understand at that point of time, we will go to the system, we will check out from an end user point of view or as a, let's say, client. Okay, what are the possibilities are there? What is possible, what is not possible, and you have to prepare a guide. So this is a little bit more applicable for a success factor. Okay, so there are certain things which is not applicable for you now. Okay, that we can skip it for now. Okay, but there are certain things actually I will recommend to go, and certain guides I will be giving to you. You have to follow that. We call it workbook. Okay, you might have heard. Okay, in that is generally in success factor we follow, but SAP HCM also have designed a workbook. Okay, so that you can, whenever you will be implementing that workbook, you have to go through. Okay, that I will explain. No worries. This is something very short session. Actually, this is actually I'm revamping my version also. Okay, whatever the last time, whenever I taught, every time I keep on improving. So this is based on students' feedback and also that again from the market point of view. Okay. And day three, actually, this is a purely agile story. You must have heard about the user stories, agile.
Yeah, I'm Scrum certified, so I understand.
Oh, great. Yeah. Then I don't have to take this session for you. Rather, I will be giving a problem statement, or I will be giving you a scenarios, Actually, you have to come up with your user stories. What could be the possible user stories? That story bank or the story, what we call that epic, right? Epic, then we do have all those retains, right? So generally, I will be expecting, actually at present, I will be designing all my coaching sessions in that format. Okay, so we will start with this Australia payroll. Okay, so this is something you are the first person to have in. Already you are Scrum certified, definitely you will be a valuable asset even in my community. So definitely I will take help from you. So you have to prepare a list of user stories. I already template you must be having, but I will be, maybe we will be doing a co-creating that activity. So I will be sharing a template. Maybe you can also give some of your inputs based on a Scrum experience and all. How can we improvise that? And in that, we will be capturing what are the possible requirements can come in a typical government sector client from a payroll point of view. And maybe 60-70% will be generic. Every government sector will be looking for that. Okay, there can be some uniqueness also based on the industry as well, whether it's education or health, based on that. Okay, that we have to identify, and those things also publicly available. There are so many materials. We will be doing some R&D, and definitely we will co-create that. So this is an activity we will jointly together. We will together doing this activity. So this is something we have to do that in day 3. Next one, this is an important activity. Actually, this is not a part your typically part of your any on-premise module or a SAP HCM on-premise module. This idea comes from actually from a typically SuccessFactor ALP IDP process. Okay, I will be quickly show you that. Okay, so this is again what is a process, what is an ALP, what is an IDP. So I think as a business analyst, you must have worked in any kind of business process also, right? When have you used any tools for drawing business processes?
Use Visio.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Visio. Okay. Then it is simple, very simple for it. So I'm thinking some as if I'm talking to a junior person, but you are already experienced in that. So basically, we have a Visio, and also you can utilize in my organization. I use Aries actually. Aries, there is some tools called Signavio. Okay, but you have to understand what are the typical processes are there, and for that, I will be telling you to go for your typical process library. We have a process library for every module. So I will just show you that process library. So it is already in my platform, but before you go anywhere, you have to understand the process. It will be more of a SuccessFactor driven, but similar thing also because you are aspiring for SuccessFactor in the future. So I will not say that if something opportunity is coming up in SuccessFactor also, you should not stop. Okay, so you should let's see. Okay, that's learning. If you understand SAP HCM on-premise payroll, SuccessFactor payroll will be very easy. Within 1 to 2 weeks, you can learn. Okay, so that is something. Okay, so you may say process. These are the 3 things we do have. If you see payroll reading practices, payroll process diagrams, payroll process summary. Okay, so whenever I'm going for a payroll process, okay, it is again, it is not my creativity. It is an official documentation from SAP. Okay, SAP SuccessFactor, they offer for every model, they offer directly this and these diagrams you are already familiar as you have already worked in video, right? So these are things we have a process groups, and typically in payroll we have 4 things. One is a pre-payroll activity, then we do actual running the payroll, then we do have a post payroll activities, and there are some statutory requirement like a downloading a report, collaborate with the government actually. So you have to submit those reports, all those things. Okay, so these are 4 major process will be there in a payroll. Not stick to any country specific payroll. Whatever country you choose, 4 things are common across. Okay, so what activity today I'll be giving to you? Maybe this documentation I will be sharing with you. You can go through this. Okay, and more or less it is.
I think my internet connection is weak. You got broke.
I think I lost it for a while.
Can you hear me?
Internet. Yes. Is it better? It disconnected from here only from my side. Okay, so where you stopped? I was explaining this process diagram, right?
Yeah, process diagram.
Yes. So these are the 4 major, we call it process groups actually. These are the 4 major groups, and under that we will be having sub-process and your up to the task level. So it is again irrespective of your whatever the products you are using. As you'll be focusing on SAP payroll, so under pre-payroll, these are the 6 major things you will be having. So what I will recommend is you are already having the VGO tools. Okay, maybe you can draw this as if you are doing of your own. Okay, so you do not to have used this code. Okay, this is an SAP code they have given. Okay, maybe you can start with a pre-payroll. Under pre-payroll, you can maintain these 6 steps like initiating a payroll period, managing payroll data, importing external data, checking data quality, core HR data alert, process payroll data alert. Okay, so these are the 6 things we generally perform in a pre-payroll activities in SAP. Okay, so this is a easy one, but I will be giving to you just copy paste from this and only remove this code because in SAP given code. Okay, so that you will be getting confident. Yeah, once you draw it yourself, you will be getting confident. Yeah, these are the different process, and this is how you generally SAP follow this process, right? And similarly, once you go inside it again, this one you don't have to. At present, you just draw the up to the L1. Okay, this is a L1 process. Okay, up to L1 you can create it. If you get time, you can do it after that. Okay, but it is not needed now. Okay, but I will be sharing this with you, and you have to understand this also. So most of these things are actually self-explanatory, but it is designed more from a success factor point of view. Okay, so there will be similar activities in SAP HCM payroll as well. Maybe here they are saying event. The terminology will be different in our SAP HCM. Okay, so they will be calling it as action types and like that, right? But more or less, I will think that you have to go through this process once. I will not be giving any system related stuff. Okay, but this, at least if you know these things, right, definitely you'll be getting a 30,000 feet view for the entire payroll module. Okay, what is there, and it is irrespective of whatever the country payroll you are working on. Okay, so this is something generic document. I will recommend to go through it once. Okay, make some notes. Okay, from all these things, and whenever we'll be going to discuss these things, we will be like one by one. Right? And also, if you do not understand anything, there will be a companion guide for this. This is a diagram only. There is a guide, another guide which I'll be sharing with you. That is a process summary. For every process, whatever we have seen this in this deck. Okay, everything is explained here within wording. So just like this, for every process, you can see, suppose as I was talking, initiate payroll period. Okay, so this is the L1 process. So here L1 process is in which page? I will take you to that. Let's say initiate payroll period. Okay, so whenever you are initiating a payroll period, okay, initiate payroll period. This is the process diagram, and this is the summary of this diagram. Okay, this is the summary of the diagram. And here you will be, it is a self-explanatory. What will be the start event, what will be the end event, and who will be the process participants. This is nothing but your, in agile terminology or design thinking terminology, they're the persona. Who are the personas will be either it can be done by the payroll manager, or it can be done by the HR administrator in your organization. They might be having different designation in an organization, but the role will be the similar kind of a role. They will be performing whether the payroll manager or HR administrator, like that. And what is the purpose of this process? This is very important. Whenever you are drawing any kind of L1 diagram, do not go blindly. Just to understand what is the purpose of that particular process. You can see, what does it say? It says that this process will be having those activities which are necessary and before you run the payroll cycle. Okay, so that is something you have to understand. Revise dates defined in the payroll calendar. Suppose there is any change in the date of the payment date. Generally, payment dates are fixed for most of the organizations. It can be like last working day of that cycle, or it can be the first working day of the cycle people get paid, right? Mostly. But again, we have to ensure those things are actually there. And is there any off-cycle payroll run, like your reimbursement or any ad hoc payment is happening, whether it will happen before your payroll or let's say 7 days or 14 days after the payroll, depending upon that. Okay, so all these things actually this will be considered here in this particular process. Okay, even so, any communication with the administrator or any third party you are contacting, so everything will be happening in this process. And what is the outcome? Outcome, actually your input is the payroll calendar and output is the payroll period dates communicated, so that on which day your salary will be paid, on which date actually people will be, the salary will be credited to the bank account of those people, your employees. Those things will be you understanding from here. Okay, and similarly, what is the prerequisite? So it is also explained that what are the prerequisites, this must be done. And use cases, it will be repetitive activity for every payroll period. Okay, so I think mostly you do there. We have in Australia, I understood that you also have a bi-weekly payroll, right? In some companies, or is it
Yeah, fortnightly.
only fortnightly? Yeah, fortnightly we do have in Australia, and mostly in the government sector, it is a monthly, right? In the public
No, it
sector and all.
depends. If you're a contractor, you can have fortnightly.
Okay, that is interesting to know. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that is
full
okay.
time
So
will
it
be
was
one time monthly.
monthly. That's the most common general scenario. But you can
Yeah.
also have a different frequency. We call it payroll frequency, payroll cycle. Actually, in that you can have a monthly payroll, or it can be your fortnightly as well. Okay. So this is something we have to understand the use case also. This use case will be when it will come, the scenario. Use cases are nothing but your scenario. Okay. So whenever you will be writing a user story, you can take an inspiration from this. Like as a payroll manager, I should be able to do this so that this. Okay. So what is the value? Okay. So in this way, you can take inspiration from this process summaries and all. So mostly these are easy to understandable way. Okay. But anyway, I'll be helping you once you start your first draft of your user stories and all. Okay. This is actually long time. Actually, even I was thinking to do, but actually it got delayed a lot. Okay. So, but this year actually it is my goal. Is my goal that I have to enable this Scrum, bring in those Scrum principles, Agile principles to my coaching as well,
Why?
mentoring
What
as
is
well.
the
So that
purpose of that? Bringing the agile part in here in the HR process.
because many organizations, okay, even they follow these days Agile. Okay, so
Okay.
generally they use tools, okay, which are Agile friendly, Scrum principles. They follow it. Okay, it is better to know the students also in advance. Okay, and
I
also from
see.
a tracking point of view. Okay, suppose it is very much quantifiable, right? Suppose you are giving some requirement. It is in terms of user stories, right? Then you can say after 5 user stories, I was able to achieve 4 user stories successfully running. Now I have achieved 80%, right? It is very easy to track instead of sending some email coming through an incident. That's the old way of doing it. So for that reason, actually, I'm bringing in that new philosophy or principle, whatever you can say, to my coaching as well. Even I am following the same thing in my current projects as well. Okay,
I
that's
see.
the advanced thing, but it is okay that it is okay if the organization is not following, but we will be always in the top. Like advanced thing, whatever is coming, if it is good, then definitely we'll adopt that in our thing. Okay, it is good to know. Maybe your organization may be following or not. That is different issues. Okay, but it is good that you can also, whenever you are telling in an interviews, you can also explain that your organization may not be following, but you can inspire, influence them also in the future, okay, so that they can utilize this principles. Okay. So this is a document which I'll be sharing with you. So this is also a lot of material to study. Okay. So, but these are actually lightweight material. I'm not going to the implementation guide. If you guys say for that reason, if I saw somebody to implementation guide, they will be actually crying actually. So big and so not user friendly to understand. You will not be reading, but this is at least it's a kind of a storytelling style, very easy to grasp also. Okay, for a new one, for a new person like you, okay, who are very new to this payroll and all.
But how,
Definitely, this kind of
before I start this, like the payroll and all, where can I get an understanding of what the HR is? Like, what are the different events in HR that they have? Before I can, get into this SAP, what are the different events they come across, like, hiring a person, termination, that the ones that I saw on the screen, like what's
Okay,
the process of
yeah,
HR?
yeah. So what I will do, okay, as you are new here, there is a prerequisite. I think I skipped one step. I have to step back one step by and just show you that. Generally, this guide also sharing with you what I will tell you. So rather, whenever we're going for that one step back, that will be your employee administration. There is an EC module. Basically, in the EC module, those events will be there. Okay, so let me bring in that thing, let's say. Yeah. So this is your typical HR admin activity. Your employee central activities will be here. Okay. So here you will be getting those events types and all.
Okay.
So you can see whenever any employee life cycle, we call it in our, just like in your, if you're in CRM also, you must be having a customer life cycle, right? End-to-end customer
Yes.
life cycle, right?
Yeah.
Starting from lead generation till to that. I have limited knowledge, so you can correct me if I'm wrong. Then you have a lead generation, then end to that till the customer is getting acquired in your system and they will start buying something, and also that's an end-to-end cycle we do have. Okay, so similar lead to cash, I think the cycle is called lead to cash, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Similar to here, we call it hire to retire. Okay, H2R.
Oh, okay.
In yeah, so just like you have in CRM lead to cash, similar kind of thing. So we call it a H2R cycle. H2R. We do not. It is better to say hire to retire. Otherwise, many people will not be understanding. Okay, and this is shortcut. Hire to retire.
Retire. Yeah.
Generally, people don't retire, but actually in these days, they keep on moving actually to organization to organization. Here, retire means actually, unless and until if it is a government organization, so still people leave means actually whenever people are leaving actually. So that is the context here, H2R cycle. So this is also refers to your, it is also known as your employee life cycle. Okay. So as you have, I think you have limited knowledge on this. Okay, what I will do for you, I will be having some materials as a pre-read. Okay, so which will make you understand what a typical HR process looks like. Okay, but there is also very good materials in terms of which I refer personally. There is a very good AI HR, we call it Academy to Innovate HR. There are many blogs here. Okay, so like employee life cycle, maybe I will be pick and choose the specific blog. Okay, and say I will share with you employee life cycle. I'm sure there are thousands of blogs for this, but they are the authentic one. It's a Netherlands-based company, and you have to understand this article. So this article actually you have to go through so that you will be understanding from a typical what does the meaning of an employee life cycle. Okay, so the employee life cycle, during your entire life cycle, you will be having different stages of your life cycle. Like attraction means actually there are 7 stages. What they are saying means you found a particular job very much attractive when you started applying, right? So then you are in the phase of becoming a 7 stages, whatever you are saying here. The blog says means you are now becoming a candidate. Okay, applicant, then you become a candidate. Okay, then your recruiting process is over. Okay, now you become a onboardee. Suppose you accepted the offer letter. Okay, then you start joining that organization. You're onboarded. Okay, then there definitely retention is something. This diagram will be better to understand. Okay, so this is the entire life cycle. Very nicely they have presented here. So it starts from the attraction. They are not using the term as a retirement. Okay, rather they call it happy leavers. Happy leavers means happily people are leaving. Okay, that's the more positive way of seeing it. Okay, attraction. Then you have recruitment, onboarding. Then we have retention means actually you continue to the same organization, and the organization is paying you well for your whatever the performance you are performing there, right? And there will be ongoing development process. When I say development, there are talent development processes like learning, performance management, all those things will happen and all. This is the kind of a cycle you have to follow. Then we call it offboarding. Offboarding is once you resign from that organization, then you become a happy leaver. This is very good. I really like their articles and all this very comprehensively they mention. And also there are some cheat sheets. There are freely available. You can download those cheat sheets. But this blog actually I will recommend to read at least once. And these are the different, at every point we will be having an employee event. Suppose you're joining the organization, that is an employee event. You are also, it is not explained here in detail, but when it comes to success factor, we will be seeing here, or SAP, you will be seeing this kind of event. These are again typically hiring people is an event. Okay, similarly global assignment, suppose you are deputed to US for a short-term project for 6 months. Okay, so in that case you will be globally, means you are assigned to, you are deployed into a project for 6 months. Again after 6 months, again you will be coming back to the parent company. Okay, that is the kind of a scenario. That is also an event. We call it a global assignment. Okay, similarly, the third part is managing employee data, means ongoing data, master data management on a day-to-day basis, right? That is also, it can be an event, mostly in case of a transfer, promotions and all, the salary data may change and all, accordingly, you have to maintain those data. Okay, that is again another event. Similarly, the termination, whenever the person is leaving the organization, okay, then whether it is voluntary or involuntary again, okay. So what I will recommend, combination of these two, I will remember that I have to send this to you in this blog. This is a process. This will be giving a process knowledge about the employee life cycle. And this document which I have now opened. Okay, so this document I will be sharing with you so that you will be having a process understanding of an employee event, employee life cycle about it. Okay. So how to manage rehire, how to administer internal hire. You don't have to go too deep about it, but at least you should understand what other things happen. It is more from a success factor point of view, but same thing also happen in the SAP HCM as well.
Okay.
So this is
Okay.
something you have to, I will be giving to you this one. Okay. So with that
Okay.
understanding, I think this we will be seeing how to retire cycle and all. Okay. Now coming to the next part, I think already we are close to our time. Okay, just
Yeah.
I will say before we go ahead, okay, I will be giving you some ideas here. So whenever I will be giving this hackathon, as we are talking about the hackathon, right? Because I follow this hackathon format. Okay, even from my mentor, whenever I have learned these things, so he always used hackathon style. So and also it is very productive actually because you have a definite goal and that goals you have to achieve within a timeline. If you're not achieving also, you can also inform that, yeah, this was X and Y, Z reason. So you are not able to achieve. It is not like hard, that much hard and all. Okay. So up to whenever I'm talking about day 4, right? So basically in that we will be discussing, so I'll be giving, so this process diagram with all of these things. Okay. Then you have to ensure you are drawing, you're able to draw those diagrams of your own, to understanding that process flows in detail. Okay. And apart from that, there will be some document for ALP, IDP. I'll be giving it for you, but it will be more of a specific to employee central payroll. Okay. Those principles are also applicable SAP HCM, but it is for your long-term understanding. You may not get the immediate, but you should know that there is something called ALP, IDP. ALP means your architectural leading practices. Okay. From a system point of view, suppose 10 years down the line, you are becoming an architect in payroll, okay, or SAP HCM architect. Solution, it can be solution architect, it can be enterprise architect, it can be business architect, whatever the roles you are getting in the opportunity in the future. Okay. So once you become an architect, you'll be able to understand all these things in details or more details, but at least you should be familiar about these documentations. Okay. SAP provides all these things. Similarly, whenever you are implementing something, SAP provides an IDP document. That is the implementation design principle. What are the because something is designed for X purpose, if you're not utilizing for that purpose, then that purpose is lost, right? So you have to understand those inherent principles, whatever it is there, right? So to best utilize your product. Okay, this is in the day 4 will be covered. And whenever I'm saying day 5 to day 25, there's a gap. So it will be asynchronous sessions. It will be a like I'll be giving an assignment. So here in this example, I have given a the recruiting module here, but for you it will be payroll along with your SAP HCM, because you also try to understand OMPA also, right? So before you go to the payroll, you have to understand, I will be recommending this 10 videos you must watch continuously. So it is more of a like 30 minutes to 1 hour videos will be there. Okay.
Is it
so
after day 5 or before day 5? The OMP?
It is from day 5 till day 25.
Okay.
Okay. So here actually I'll be giving not only these 10 videos, okay, but also your, although it is in the YouTube, but I will prefer to use my platform because in YouTube, I do not answer question and answer, do not do that. Okay. So same thing it is there, but here the difference is you will be having the interaction. Okay. So I will go to the, let's say Australia payroll. I have a playlist for that in my, if you people go there. Okay, so in my website also they will be getting, but it is also there in my platform. The difference is here I mentor and people, whatever the question they ask, I answer that. Okay, so you can see I have named it as a Australia Payroll Mastery. Rather I say SAP Australia Payroll, rather I call it Australia Payroll Mastery. So I'm expecting every students, whatever the country they are choosing, whether it's the US or Australia, whatever, they should master in that. Okay, so in that, if you see here, we have 12 sessions in this. Okay, and there is a one lab session. A lab session is a continuous thing. Okay, like suppose I will be asking few things to perform. Then I'll be sitting with you online, and you have to perform that activity, and you have to demonstrate that as if you are presenting it to a client, as if you are. So that kind of activity you will require a practice. Those kind of practice session, and it is okay that if you are getting stuck when it is okay. Okay, so we have to, from that only we will be learning. So I always say fail fast and fail forward, right? So once you understand that issue, unless until you're getting issues, you will not be able to understand the thing, because it will same thing will happen in your projects and your job interviews as well, right? So this is the combination. This is
Sorry about
Any
that.
question?
And this sessions are in order. I have to go order wise, right?
Yes.
Session 1, then 2 and 3. Okay.
Yes,
okay.
yes. This is very much aligned in the order actually. So first of all, you have to complete that SAP HCM on premise. Okay, this one. Okay, this is the 10 videos. Okay, every maybe you can complete 2 videos per day also. It is not that much hard to understand. Okay, so this is something you can go through. Even you can access it in from a mobile app also. So we have an app for that. Okay, so if you are traveling or somewhere, okay, you can also watch that. But it is better to have watch it in a laptop because these are very in-depth
Yeah,
modules.
I prefer
Okay.
laptop. Yeah.
Prefer laptop and make notes. Okay, whenever
Yeah,
you are doing
notes.
watching these things, make notes and share those notes also. It is not like you have to keep it with yourself. There's an option how to do that. I will be also guide you. So first of all, this day 5 to 20 very critical for you. Day 25, where exactly these are asynchronous session, means we will not be online, but as if you to think I'm online. Okay, so you have to watch as if you are doing it live actually. So I will be logging as a student now. So I will show you how does it look like. So let's say now I will be logging as a student. Is it okay that I will take another 5 minutes to
Yeah, no
cover?
worries. Yeah, I just a little bit now confused which one to start with, where to click
No,
on.
no, no. You can start with SAP HCM. So you can start with SAP HCM payroll. SAP HCM, then you can go for Australia payroll. So SAP HCM, it will be there like here. If you go
Okay.
to the yeah, this is the silver membership, and inside that you will be having this access on-premise, whatever it will say on-premise SAP HCM. Okay. So if you go here, okay. So there are actually so many sessions are there. So the last part you can skip it because I belong to Odisha. There are certain sessions happen in the regional languages also. You can skip
I
it.
see.
Okay, last 10 sessions you can skip it because this is a more of a people who are coming from similar languages, they prefer something. So that for that reason I
Okay.
kept it different. Okay. Otherwise, these are the sessions you have to refer. So like here in the implementation track, we have 10 videos. Okay. And the videos are actually, if you go for one of the videos, let's say I'm going for Spock Mastery. Okay. Actually, some of the name also have given a very funny name. And then there is a meaning for that. Okay. So this is a video. Essentially, this is for OM module actually. Okay. This is a live sessions which I've conducted for one of the student from UK. Okay. So there also I have talked about hire to retire cycle. Some of the things also I started everywhere. So maybe also if you are understanding, you can also just like in YouTube, okay, you can also here increase the speed means 1.5x. Okay, in that also you can speedily also go through. Okay. So once you go to a
Okay.
video, there is also people are asking question you can see. Can you see that? Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So people are asking questions here. Okay. So whenever they are going through this video, they've asked questions. You can also ask your questions here. You can ask your question. You can say your digital notes also, what are the notes you're preparing. Okay. So maybe you can mention here, this is I learned from this particular video. Let's say this is a video you have watched and this you're learning. You can put it here and you just click this post button. So that I will be understanding and are you getting a notification that yes, you have completed this episode, the second episode, third episode. In this way, I will be getting updated. Even if you do not call me or you don't have to call me, but I will be getting notified that yes, you have completed. And in case if any issues, like this student 10 months back, he has completed and he has a question, how to make an info type mandatories and all. So I have given answer then and there. Okay. So in this way, you can also see what kind of question other students are asking. Okay. So somebody has asked for a UK payroll. So somebody has asked what is the custom info type. Okay. So I have answered here. As many questions you can ask. This is unlimited. Okay. You can ask. Okay. And at a time, one question. Okay. So suppose you are having 10 questions, you can post it 10 times. Okay? So that you'll be getting answer for that. Yeah. So that is the way actually for every video below that every video, we do have an option like this. And you have to ask questions. I encourage students to ask questions accordingly. And this is the video sessions. And after the video sessions, actually there is some section called resources. And in the resources section, you will be getting all the material. Okay, like your PDF material you can download from here. Okay, for your understanding. I will not be sharing these things in the WhatsApp. Okay, rather you can simply go here, download ERP. These are all latest guide. Okay, because whenever I learned, those are now become outdated now. A lot of changes happened now. These are all recently last 3 months actually I have added. Business processes. As you are a work in a business project, business analyst, right? This document will be very useful. Covering everything, business processes, OAM, master data, time data, business process. I'm not expecting you to master all these things, but at least you understand these things at a high level so that you will be ready for the payroll. Because this is a kind of a, like we take pre-nursery, LKG, UKG like that. And before we go for standard one, right? The Australia payroll will be kind of a standard one, but here before that, you have to complete this at least to understand this activity, all the things. And people ask questions wherever, even if in the documentation also, if you're having questions, I answer there. Okay. Suppose this student has asked a question, this, okay, related to this particular document. Okay, maybe you can, it is better you can refer the page number also. You can mention that page number this and this I didn't understand. Okay, I'll be more than happy. I will go through the document and I will be reading that and I will be answering then and there. It will also very good to do that. Okay, so this is a documentation point of all the documentations we will be able to download from this resource guide, resource section at track number 16. Okay, and track number 17 is actually ask me anything. So here actually what happens, as you have mentioned, right, that if you're working in a payroll, suppose you're getting a job and after that you got some project support. So you can see I have supported one of the student in TCS. I believe one of the TCS student actually, one of my student got in job in TCS Mumbai, and he has a lot of queries. It was his first job. So that actually sessions I have taken and tried to explain real-time project scenario. Okay, so the real-time, what are the challenges he has faced? I've tried to explain in this video, and what kind of error he got in the project, and also this is a purely live thing actually I have done. That will be part of in the ask me anything. Here you can ask any question related to your what are the projects you are doing, or you are working anything specific to your project or anything which is okay. That one of the student actually asked what is a service pack. Okay, so I have tried to explain it with a recent example. Okay, so all these things will be, it will be a keep on increasing. It is not like limit. Now you can see 2 videos or 1 videos here, but as many students as they ask the questions accordingly, this is an ever growing library. You can say this is an expanding library, not like Coursera, Udemy, only you have 10 videos or 20 videos, not like that. The more you engage, the more you ask, it will be keep on improving. Okay, so with that note, I think I've done whatever I have to supposed to today share with you. And any questions or any expectations?
I remember one more thing. I saw regarding ESS, MSS. Is there a portal where employees and managers can log in online and
yes.
how is that
SAP
integrated with SAP HR?
So ESS, MSS, actually, this is a portal where actually traditionally we have used. Maybe in many organizations they still use it. Okay, but for that actually I will also explain. There are some guides I will be sharing with you. But I don't think any vendor provides that to practice for that. Okay, but it can be integrated. So from a SAP HCM on-premise point of view, I will show you the configurations where exactly those ESS, MSS. But nowadays, most of the organizations they moved already to the SuccessFactors. They do not use the SAP traditional ESS, MSS. If still they are using,
Department of Education is still using it. I saw it one time, right? But I wasn't involved. But I know there's something like ESS, MSS that they use.
Yes,
but I just didn't know what it's used for.
I can help you in that way as well. So I will be giving you means overall it's not very difficult. Even I worked only for 6 to 8 months in that in 2014. It is super easy. Okay, so you have to just do a few configurations, and once your configuration on-premise SAP HCM is ready, right? Then you will just plug in those values to the ESS, MSS, or it's kind of plugin. And you have to just add those. There are a few minor configurations, not so in depth like your SAP HCM. Okay, so that will be I will help you. Okay, so ESS, MSS as well, not a problem.
So the first thing is I need to do the SAP HCM payroll and then Australia payroll, right?
Yes, it's not payroll. This is the SAP HCM core actually on-premise SAP HCM, and it is everything of it means like your OMTA. Little bit, I don't expect you to go through the in detail about it, because if you go in details again, it will itself will take 1 month. Okay, but at least you understand the high level all these things. Okay, the hands-on, whatever the hands-on is there, you practice. Okay, so you will be having the sessions like here. Okay, those things you practice it, and I am sure. Do you have a SAP system access as of now, or you want a?
No, I would want that. So now coming to the money transfer and system access, could you send me the total amount, the breakdown, and how can I transfer it to you?
Okay, sure. I will help you that, because that whenever I say I will let me stop recording, and let